Mic check. Oh, come on, man. Microphone check. Microphone check. Here we go. Y'all can hear me? Good morning, Shirley. Good morning, KMS. Yeah, my computer does this weird thing where it connects. Okay, here we go. Yeah, so StreamYard connects my phone automatically instead of connecting my professional microphone right in front of me. Okay, y'all can hear me now. All right, guys. So this is I'm still working on my time slot. So hopefully that works out because I gotta be out my schedule. I gotta be out by 12:30, at least 12:30, the latest 12:45 for my new schedule. So, but here we go. Colorado is in a unique spot, and the spot we are in fourth right now, guys. We are fourth in the Big 12. As you look at the schedule, BYU is for those of you who are listening on just audio. Sorry about the no audio in the beginning there. For those of you who are watching on your screen, you got BYU. We got the schedule. We got the conference standings here. BYU is number 1 at 8-0. They are 5-0 in the conference. Iowa State is the next one up, 4-0 in the conference. We're 7. They're 7-0 overall. Next is 4-1 K-State. They are 7-1. They've been a little vulnerable, more vulnerable than Iowa State and BYU. I think BYU has been the least vulnerable. If you look at the rest of their schedule and what's left on there. K-State 4-1, 7-1 overall. Colorado is in fourth, 4-1, 6-2 overall. All teams that I'm just mentioned are bowl eligible. Congrats to every team up there. So a lot of y'all are going to be. Well, we all know that Colorado is on a bye week, so we're not playing this weekend. So we're going to have to be cheering for teams that we hope to lose and some we hope to win. Let's start with BYU. This is useless because the way I look at it, I've done this a couple of times already on the lives. I don't see anyone, the way that BYU plays, I don't see anybody left on their schedule that they're just not going to whoop up on. And that's unfortunate for us because we need them to lose. We need somebody to step up. So call your call your friends, call your neighbors, and if you know anybody at Utah, you got to call them. You got to tell them, listen, what's happening with Utah? Y'all got to play your best football for us. I need y'all to play your best football like now. And Kansas, I know that the K-State game was a rivalry game. Y'all play your heart out. Y'all almost had it. K-State would have been, 2 losses. But at the end of the game, unfortunately, y'all couldn't make it happen. So BYU plays K-State. That's an easy win for them, I believe. Utah is supposed to be the team that can beat BYU, but not this year. For some odd reason, Utah is just not doing it. I believe they had to bench their freshman quarterback and go for I think it was a red shirt quarterback. Let's look at the power rankings. Let's go to the power rankings. Let's do it this way. That way we get more insight about each team. Because I need these teams. We need more insight so we know how this is going to shape out. All right, so here it goes. Let's go to the power rankings. Number 16, Oklahoma State Cowboys. Mike Gundy said after the loss to Baylor that he told the Oklahoma State Cowboys they need to do some soul searching. Now, we play OSU at the end of the season. So I just hope they don't find there. So it'll be like, don't do this, okay? So find your soul somewhere else. Now when we don't find it late in the season, because we need to win out. For our scenario, our path to the Big 12 championship to be legitimate, we need Oklahoma State not to find their soul at the end of the season. All right? So don't find your soul yet. All right. Don't find your soul yet. I'm gonna go back and forth with this power ranking and in the Big 12 schedule or the Big 12 schedule, so that I can make sense of this. Now let's see here. All right, so BYU already played OSU. They're 138 to 35, so they're not on their schedule anymore. BYU got Utah on Saturday. They got K-State, and then they have Arizona State. Arizona State is playing good football this year. So, and then Houston just beat Utah. They got Houston at the end of the season. Can Houston, in their streaking nature, can they knock off BYU? That's not going to happen. I'm not going to bank on that happening. Not at all. So we got to find another corporate. We got to find another team to pick on, because I doubt that they're going to be able to do that. So who else can we root for? Let's go here. Let's continue this right quick. All right, so Utah is ranked number 15th. They were projected to be the winners of the Big 12 conference this year. They're currently number 15th. Utah is also spiraling with continued quarterback issues. The Utes benched true freshman Isaac Wilson in favor of redshirt sophomore Brandon Rose. Utah has not scored at least 20 points in any games of its 4-game losing streak. All right, so y'all know we get Utah. Colorado also plays Utah. So if they're having quarterback issues, since their their starting quarterback hurt his hand, they're ranked 15th. They were previously ranked number 11th. We've already beat UCF. So UCF, I don't know that that Utah that BYU has any issues there. All right. Kansas Jayhawk. Kansas has 5 losses this season, in which it led in the fourth quarter. Can they just pull it all together? Especially, obviously, not when they play us, but can they pull it together to where if they're winning like in the fourth quarter, they can knock off BYU? I don't want to hang my hat on that. Flip those outcomes, and their narrative for the Jayhawks is much different. Yeah, but it's not. Arizona, forget about it. Houston is off the bottom of the Big 12 with 2 wins in October. The Cougars and first-year head coach Willie Fritz probably would not make a bowl game, but the continued progress is there. Okay. What else we got? I'm trying to find a way. I need a path. I need a way. Texas Tech is not in the race anymore. They just took a heavy L. Let's see Texas Tech, because we do have to play them. Texas Tech blew an opportunity to solidify itself as a conference title contender the past 2 weeks. After an embarrassing loss at home to Baylor, the Red Raiders had a bounce-back win in their hands before a late fumble sealed their fate in their loss to TCU Saturday. Head coach Joey McGuire caught some heat for putting the pressure on true freshman quarterback Will Hammond, who lost the ball with Texas Tech in position for a go-ahead field goal, rather than a reliable option in veteran running back Taj Brooks. Now the Red Raiders are staring at consecutive games against nationally ranked opponents. So if they are having some type of quarterback issues, or they're having some issues going in there, that means that Colorado, when we come off the bye, we should be able to expose that. Are we able to do that? Not sure. We don't play TCU. Arizona State is playing nice. Arizona State needs just one more win to secure bowl eligibility under second-year head coach Kenny Dillingham. The Sun Devils are way ahead of schedule in their grueling rebuild and could return to the postseason for the first time since 2021 if they can find a victory in November. Quarterback Sam Levitt did not play for Arizona State due to injury, and his status remains questionable heading into a visit at Oklahoma State in Week 10. That should mean additional touches for standout running back Cam Skattebo. Skattebo is a great running back. You know, he makes his own way. When he smells that first down, he finds a way to pick up whoever is trying to tackle him, and he carries them over that line. I like that guy. That guy is pretty good. That's why he's ranked second in the Big 12 with 150 carries. Cincinnati, we took care of. Kansas State Wildcats, we need them to lose, or we needed them to beat Iowa State at the end of the season. We're Colorado, so that's us. How does this work? How does Colorado get there? This is what I need you to do this weekend. Let's go to the conference, to the standings. This is what I need us to do this weekend. I need y'all help. Colorado needs y'all help. Good vibes, bad vibes, all of it. We need y'all help. So here it goes. When is Iowa State playing? Then I don't know by right. Who they play next? Okay, so Iowa State plays Texas Tech. Hold up. Okay, on Saturday. Iowa State plays Texas Tech on Saturday. We're obviously going to be playing Texas Tech when we return from the bye. Can Texas pull this off? Not sure. If they do, that'll be major for Colorado. That will inch us up closer to where we need to be at. All right, so let me put this here. Let me do this the right way here, because I know my guys, in case anybody wants to come on to the show, let me put this up on the screen. I know a lot of y'all are at work and you can't come on, but still got to make sure that we give the opportunities to those who want to come onto the show. If you are able to come onto the show and discuss this with me, the path to victory or the path to the Big 12 championship, join TLPlive@gmail.com is the email, guys. Join TLPlive@gmail. It's the email. You email me, I send you a link. You come onto the show. We discuss what's happening. So let me see what D. Milton Wheat says. The best way to get there is only for BYU to lose 2 games. Even if ISU lose, they will still get in due to strength of rankings. I don't know that that's the only way. From what I've been, researching around the Horn and other analysts, talking about it, my guys at DMVR Buffs also talked about it. That's not exactly the only way, but that is if we're banking on BYU losing 2 games, when you have a team that has their eyes on the prize, I don't know that they're going to let up, because the teams that they're playing are not, these teams that we're going to play. And Colorado is supposed to win out. And I don't know that Colorado is, I don't know that these teams are strong enough to knock off BYU, being how strong they are, how strong they've played. Their quarterback is a mobile quarterback. Their quarterback is mobile. He can find the yellow line. He can sense it, and then he can make things happen. And then they have some wide receivers and running backs that make things happen. Like, they are a solid team. They are a solid team. So for us to even have a chance, K-State has to take another L. We have to win out. All right? That's the first thing. We got to handle our business. We got to win out. And I'll put our schedule on the screen for y'all. The rest of us, what we need, what we have left. We got to win out on this schedule. All right. When we come back, we play November 9th. We play Texas Tech, Utah, K-State. I mean, not K-State, but Kansas, KU, and OSU. We got to win out. So if we handle our business, then we're going to need a little bit of luck, depending on your faith level, blessing, whatever you want to call it. We're going to need some help from some of these other teams. The first has to be K-State has Iowa State can knock off K-State at the end of the season. So that's in the loop. So if Iowa State beats K-State at the end of the season, then they have 2 losses, and that pushes us up to number 3. But there is a path. There is a path. Now, the question, let me ask you all a question. We have lofty goals, which we kind of like took out of our own hands, because I feel like we could have handled K-State. We could have, if we make a few plays at the end of that game, don't get a big old bomb. Like if we just make a few more stops, that game is ours. There's only 3 minutes left. College football, with 3 minutes like that, you can eat that up with a few first downs, and that's it. And you go home. Unfortunately, that didn't happen. So does Colorado have to go to this playoff or make the Big 12 championship for recruiting? I don't know. If we win out and we don't make this championship at 10-2, it's a great season for Colorado. A really, really great season for Colorado. Coming from 1-11, going 4-8, and then this season, if we win out, going 10-2. Again, my predictions are 8-4. Even with 8-4, it's a great season. And then recruiting is going to be, we can seal recruiting. Some heavy prospects that we got. I mean, I for one, don't really care about the Juju story or the Juju lottery. It'll be great if we get Juju, but I feel like there are other quarterbacks that will become interested in Colorado once Shador is out of the picture. I feel like there are other quarterbacks, if this whole Juju thing kind of like goes in a direction that that doesn't favor us. Because money's involved. NIL is involved. How much he needs or how much he wants to play for Colorado. Is he going to be committed all the way for Colorado? We're hoping. But as you guys know, man, like with this whole NIL thing and Colorado not really having a big purse, not yet at least, it's hard for you to hang your hat on a prospect as high as Juju. So we hope we get him. But if we don't, then we need our record to help us out. We need our record to help us to land a decent quality quarterback. We still got Ryan Staub in the mix. Ponder, I guess you guys were saying there's a guy named Ponder. I don't even know who that guy is. Fenny says, "Come on, Harry. Come on for what? What do you want from me? What's happening?" Harry be in the place to be. What up, Surf? Fennis, what do you want from me? What do you want me to say? We start with well wishes. We want it, but we know what the stakes are. The stakes are high, very high. USC is not that great this year. I mean, let me go to USC. What conference is USC in? Standings. Let's go to standings. Is USC in the Big Ten? Did they make it? Are they Big Ten this year? Okay, so USC is Big Ten. USC's 4-4 overall. They're not having a great year. So, excuse me. USC's not having a great year. Yo, Surf, appreciate that, man. Buff Nation, we needed that. We needed someone to hang our hats on, because you as you know, man, we catch a lot of flack because of the Deion tax. You feel me? So now we can get people off our backs a little bit so that we can just talk football. No, we can just relax and we can talk football a little bit. because that's the hardest thing to do is to talk football, because then they use your 1-11, they use the transfer portal backlash, they use everything to berate you and to put you down, and you don't know anything about football. You don't know anything about this. So now we can forget about the clown emojis, your delusional stuff, and we can talk football now. Now put your what's your name where your mouth is. Like let's see how much I know and let's see how much you know. Right? Because you know football so much. It sounds like what I've been saying all year. It sounds like it's more on point than what you've been saying if you've been a detractor. So it doesn't sound like I'm the delusional one. It sounds like you're the delusional one. So there you go. But I'm all for that. Now I can just sit back and I can talk football. Love and Liberty, what up with you, man? I hope all is well. All right, so the Juju talk real quick. You see USC right here. USC is they're 2-4 in the Big Ten. And they're 4-4 overall, lost 4 games. It's not looking sexy for USC and Juju going to that team. Now, I mean, he's committed there, but hey, Colorado looks more sexy right now. And we're ranked. We're ranked number 23. So at the end of the day, man, Colorado has a chance, but anything can happen in this NIL situation, in this NIL land. Anything can happen, guys. So that's why when I've been talking here and I've been saying, hey, listen, that at the end of the day, we got to talk. We got to do straight talk. We can't, we cannot just rely on, fairy tales and act like nobody else is in the picture. Colorado is the only team in the picture. That's just not realistic. It's not realistic. There's a lot of other teams going after this cat. And and then money usually, like, sometimes will win out, and you never know. Money can win out. But we're hopeful. Colorado needs to handle their business. You know what I'm saying? Colorado handles their business, and then at the end of the day, we're good. That's what I'm looking forward to. I just want Colorado to just handle their business because look, listen to it. This is what's happening now. Let me put this on the screen. Give me a second, guys. This is what's happening now. Now you're getting the Stephen A. Smiths. You got the Paul Farnbaums. You got everybody coming out and now doing that thing that we said they were going to do, right? When everybody starts speaking good again, everybody starts saying good things again. And that's when you got to be very careful. When the people that hated you start saying good things, you got to be very careful with that. How you be careful with that? Why do you have to be careful with that, Harry B? The reason why you got to be careful with that is because the season is not over. We go 6-6, and we're right back to where we started. Because what it's going to be is, you guys made a bowl game, but you couldn't beat lowly X, Y, and Z. Like that, we're going to get right back to that. You feel me? So Colorado to not have to, like I told you guys, share the microphone with those people, because what does sharing the microphone means? It means just that. It means that you're going to go right back into talking about, you guys couldn't close out. Houston beat Utah. You couldn't beat Utah. Lowly Houston beat Utah, and you couldn't beat Utah. So the narratives are going to restart. Right now, the detractors are sitting back with their fingers crossed, hoping, just like we got our fingers crossed, hoping that BYU loses and Iowa State and K-State loses. The haters and the detractors are doing the same thing. Just like I on the other live when I told you guys, where this guy's like screaming like, no, they're not supposed to win. I hate Dion and I hate their fan base. Trust me, they got the bad vibes waiting too. So if Colorado handles its business, then we can hang our hat on recruiting and get ready for next year because we know what's at stake. Unfortunately, we don't have our own fate in our hands. We don't control our own fate. The best thing we could do is just win out and wait for the chips to fall where they fall. And then maybe I'll do a live on Saturday, even though we're not playing. I'll come on here so that we can cheer. We can cheer for Iowa State, cheer for the guys that are playing, and cheer for BYU to lose. You know what I'm saying? This is just how it's going to be handled. But yeah, end of season, the conversations I want to be having at end of season is football conversations. If we handle our business and go 8-4 or 10-2, guess what? We would be relieved to have football conversations where if there's any pushback, we can feel comfortable to say, oh, no, that ain't going to happen. And it's ain't going to be like, oh, look at you, a 4-8. Because that's what it always is. We cannot afford to do 6, to get stuck at 6 or to even get 7. It has to be 8. The narrative is stronger with 8, 9, or 10 than it is with 6. Thank God we did 6. And if we go to that bowl game and we win, all right, cool. We good. But it cannot stay 6. If y'all know what I'm talking about, y'all know we cannot stay at the number 6. That would not help us at all. All right? We can't stay at 6. So if we're leaning on that, forget about 6. All right, Phil, what you say? Phil says KSU needs to lose another game. Iowa State needs to lose to Utah and KSU. BYU can win out, and CU still make it. CU has to win out. Those are the likely scenarios that will get CU into the Big 12. So K-State needs to lose another game. Iowa State needs to lose to Utah and K-State. What's the probability of Iowa State losing to Utah? I know every game is different. Every single week is different. But a team that is so crippled like Utah losing to Houston, what's the probability of losing of Utah beating Iowa State? They're they're ranked 11th. Okay, so those chances, not great. Smiley, what up with you? Lamont Moore, what up with you? Harry, you talk good sometimes. Then you lose perspective. Colorado's improved this year. I'm pretty consistent, Fennis. I don't know what you're talking about. You talk good sometimes. I'm really straight down the line consistent with what I talk. You said Colorado is improved this year. What do you mean by Colorado is improved this year? Colorado is bowl eligible. Colorado is kicking butt and taking names. So what do you mean? Are you insinuating that I haven't said that? I don't know, Fennis. I don't know where do you want me to be at for you? Where exactly do you want me to be at in conversation for you, for CU? Because when you say you said they need to win more this year. You said they need to win more this year. Huh? You said they need to win more this year. It's a tough one, Fennis. I don't know. Maybe you probably at work and you sneak texting, but I said they need to win more this year. They need to win out. Colorado needs to win out. There's another narrative because if we creators of Colorado content if we don't get 6, if we just get stuck at 6 games, then we have to answer questions from haters and doubters and detractors. So I think I talked about that, saying, no, we need to win. It needs to be at 8 for us not to have those conversations. And we can just talk about Colorado as a football team. That's one thing. But as far as the playoff picture, we need to win out. Colorado has to win 10 games for all of the other scenarios to work. Finish. I hope you understand what I'm saying and how I'm saying this. All right. But yeah, I got to move on from that because I'm not sure if you're picking up what I'm putting down. Like that's just a scenario. If you think that's hating, if you think I'm hating by saying we need to win out, then I don't know if you're paying attention. You gotta know what's happening. I'm just telling you what has to happen. There is no scenario where Colorado doesn't win out and still make it. Me and you need to talk. This text is not working. So come on the show. I literally told you can come on the show. Hold on, let me put this on the screen. So come on the show. Join tlplive@gmail.com. Come on the show and articulate what you're trying to say. No bad blood though. You know how it is. No hard feelings or whatever. Maybe we're just having miscommunication. I know the text thing is not working, but yeah. Come on the show. Join tlplive@gmail.com. I'm breaking it down for you guys. My hard out today is 12:30. I got to be out. The latest I got to be out is 12:45. I got a 1 o'clock appointment. So I got to be out of here soon. But yeah, that's how it's breaking. That's how it's shaping out. Colorado has to first handle their business and then hope. Like if you watch the NFL, this is almost like every year. You're in a good place. Like Colorado, he said, I like you. Cool. We like each other. Good. Colorado's in a good place. This is where you want your team to be. You want your team to be in a scenario where part of your season and where you're going to end up is in your hands, but then you need help. Like it's a basic thing for NFL football. Every year, somebody needs somebody to lose or to somebody else to win. So that's where we are. And this is a great thing that Colorado is in this position. I'm so stoked that Colorado is in that position. But again, let me go back to what I started saying about when you got the Stephen A. Hills. And there's one thing about Stephen A. Hill, just keep talking about Coach Prime needed to be hired by Texas A&M. Stop disrespecting Colorado, bro. Like it's time for this black man to stop disrespecting the Colorado fan base by suggesting that Colorado needs to be that Coach Prime should have taken the Florida State, or Florida State should have hired him. That Texas A&M should have hired him. Like, bro, it's time for us fans to get at Stephen A. Smith. It's time for you to stop disrespecting his fan base, bro. All right? Coach Prime is here. Deal with it, Stephen A. Smith. Stop disrespecting the fan base, bro. Like, bro, I know it's a sexier job and X, Y, and Z. He already told you he not interested. But for you to keep getting on the national television and keep disrespecting his fan base, bro, it ain't gonna fly no more, Stephen A. Like, bro, it's time for you to stop, man. We BWBs, we bandwagon buffs, we here. This is our home. We here now. So cut it out. You're disrespecting folks. You think you're doing something nice, but you're not, bro. You really think you're doing something good by just saying, oh, because they're SEC teams and some of them are bigger schools or bigger names, you think you're saying something nice by suggesting that Coach Prime get hired at those bigger schools, but you got a whole fan base that has supported Prime through the thick and the thin. We've been here. We've been putting out fires. We've been dealing with detractors and haters, and I mean racist people sometimes, a small group of racist people. We've been dealing with all of this, and you just can't find yourself to just congratulate us for our success and say, congratulations. but you just keep suggesting that we were with a different girl. Okay? Yeah, our girl was fat and she had, she was dealing with some insecurities, but we went to the gym together. We worked it out. Now she's looking good and everything, and you still suggesting that we go back to the other girl because she had it all together. Come on, it's disrespectful, man. It's disrespectful to Colorado. It ain't right. You can't keep doing that. It's disrespectful to Rick George. All of the fans that for years, when we weren't around here, for years have been through the thick and the thin. They've been through Carl Durrell with his midnight rendezvous, eating our food, going to our boosters and having meetings, knowing that he had already taken the Michigan State job, and he's sitting there talking about, I'm with y'all. And then he gets on the plane, and midnight he flies out to Michigan to take their job. Stephen A. Smith, do you even know what's going on here at Colorado? I mean, New York, but still. Do you know what's going on over there in Boulder? All right. Carl Durrell taking over, coming from USC. Not USC, but I think it was one of the California teams. You guys, go watch the video. I made a whole video about Carl Durrell. It's on the channel. All right. Carl Durrell coming over and winning 5 games. I believe he was coach of the year or something like that. And then he tanked out. Bruh, it's been a lot going on here. This history here. Coach Prime already said that he wants to go somewhere where he's needed and he can make a difference. So with the record being what it is and Coach Prime turning it around, taking all that heat, even people coming at his kids and everything, daddy ball, everything. We finally fend the flames. We finally got to a place where we're respected and we're having a good time, and the fan base can pick their heads up again, go to a bowl game. Peggy, God bless her. You know what I'm saying? She's late in her years. She gets to see a bowl. You know what I'm saying? She gets to see another bowl with Colorado. All of this story, the money that's coming into Colorado, the 50% now is increase of Black students that are enrolling in Boulder. You know what I'm saying? Like, all of this story, the young men that are changing their lives. You see all of that, and you just want to step on it and say, oh, you should be at an SEC team. Oh, you should be at Florida State in the ACC. Like, bruh, it's enough of that. All right. So let me put up this, in case y'all haven't seen it. I got to put the graphics up. But those of you who ain't seen it yet, it makes it official. It makes it feel better when you see it. Right there. All right. So we got I got to scoot over. That's how TV works. Okay. When you do it on screen, you got to scoot over. We are 23 right now. If Colorado wins out, we stay ranked for the rest of the season. All right. And we're gonna be preseason ranked because of how we played at the end of the season. Now that's a whole nother conversation has to be had, because they rank teams based on the previous years. All right. Sometimes they'll not rank you based on who you lose, but we'll figure all of that out. But I just wanted to show the fan base, your Colorado Buffaloes are ranked 23, and this graphics is right there. I don't believe in a number 1 Oregon. I don't believe in them. Now, you tell me if I'm crazy, but how many of y'all out there believe in number 1 Oregon? Oregon started off the season with their first 3 games, lesser opponents, and struggling, but they found a way to win, and they've been winning. They're undefeated, so of course, right? Georgia has taken the loss to Alabama, so yeah, I get it. But no, I don't think anybody out here believes Okay. DeAndre said, Harry, you crazy. Oregon nice. All right. They found their way. I'll give you that, DeAndre. They had the struggle in the beginning of the season. So they're a different team now. They found a way to gain confidence, and now they're doing what they're supposed to do. So yeah, I mean, I don't believe in an Oregon #1 Oregon, because the Oregon catch a Georgia, Alabama, Tennessee, Texas, and Ohio State they beat. You know what I'm saying? I believe that story changes quickly, very fast. They will win the Big Ten. Yeah, I mean, but go to the playoffs and do something, and then I'll see if you really like that. But if you go to the playoffs and you revert back to your old ways, then none of that mattered. So they are nice. I'll give them that. They are nice. They're finding their way, because if you look at Colorado and how it happened this year, right? NDSU, it looked like we were struggling, even though we came out. NDSU, like some of the teams that we were supposed to really beat, it looked like we struggled. But now you look at it and it looks like we're making teams that were good preseason look like they're not good anymore. And people are just like, oh, you're beating on bad teams. So are we really beating on bad teams, or are we just a good team beating teams that we were not projected to beat? That obviously that's in there, right? That's something we can talk about. It goes like that sometimes. It happens like that a lot of times. All right, Love and Liberty. Let's talk about this, my brother. Send you the link. All right. But Colorado is at a sweet place, and man, I don't know how y'all feel. I don't know, like, I saw a couple of y'all in different chat rooms and, having conversations, but how are you doing, Colorado fans? You are a clown. Are we back to that clown talk? James Bradley, remember the Trevor Riley situation? Don't watch this clown. Trevor Riley. Who is Trevor Riley? Who's Trevor Riley? Y'all know who Trevor Riley is? I don't know who Trevor Riley is. Yeah. So okay. A narrative that happens, in preseason is, well, in the beginning of the season. This is what happens. When the first couple of games, you're gonna try to find your strength. And depending on how those games go, you can either find your strength and you can continue to play, and then you get confident, and that confidence is going to propel the rest of your other team members to really start thinking big. Because a lot of this is like, it's not about ability, right? An early win, a tough early win to a lesser competition or lesser opponent could really give you that confidence boost, right? But if you don't have that, it can really hurt you. And if you don't get those early wins, and like Oregon, if you don't get those early wins and those things that you need to, the business you need to handle, it could be 3 points, it could be a field goal. It doesn't matter. You just need to just win. And when that happens, your confidence grows. By the time you get to October and November, you're a different team. Look at Oregon. Look who they just recently beat. Last couple of teams. All right, let's go to Love and Liberty. You ready, my guy? Give me a thumbs up. All right, here we go. Hey, man, what's up with you? How you doing today, brother?
What's up, Harry B? What's up, Buffs family? Much love here from Boulder. We're walking around the city.
Oh, how's the city like? What's the temperature? Not weather, but what's the temperature football wise? How are people feeling out there right now?
Man, in 2022, one of my friends tried to give me free tickets to the USC game, and I didn't even want to go. This year, this year it's electric. I could walk down on Pearl Street anywhere. Everybody's got their Buff stuff on, loud and proud.
Nice.
Everybody's talking Buffs. Everybody is ready to give Dion the keys to the city.
That's good. That's good. I mean, I've been out there. I've done a few interviews, and when Coach Prime arrived, the energy was hype. Everybody understood what time it was. The first season didn't really happen, but the thing about the actual Buff fans, the ones that not the BWBs, but the ones that have been going through the thick and the thin, they never lost hope, even with all of the detraction, the stuff that was in the media. They never lost hope. Did you feel at any point like that hope was ever evaded, or it was ever injured at any point, for lack of a better term?
Are you saying the hope before they announced that Coach Prime was coming or after?
So the hope was there after Coach Prime got there, because I interviewed a few people on the streets on Pearl Streets, and everybody was great, right? But then you get into the 4-8 season, and everybody starts talking down on Colorado, and Coach Prime's having Twitter beefs with students, and Shador's calling people mid. Did that hope ever take a beating, or did anybody ever lose any type of hope, thinking that, oh, this may not work out at all in Boulder?
Nah, those haters, people complaining about 4-8, do not live here. I don't know any of them. I don't know. I mean, it's not that we want to be pathetic and say that we're happy with 4-8,
Right.
but we're adults here in Boulder. We know what 1-11, losing by 29 points a game. We know how different that is from 4-8 and being competitive in the losses. So, I mean, I think everybody after last year knew what kind of team we had, knew what kind of players Coach Prime was bringing in, saw the transfer
Mm-hmm.
portal acquisitions over the offseason, and was just ready to prove the haters wrong this season, which is what they're doing.
So basically, you guys been locked in and just being hopeful. And now that you're bowl eligible, it's like, yo, we knew what was coming, basically.
Exactly.
That's good.
It's receipt checking time.
Yeah, I got a lot of those. I've been keeping receipts, man, because I've been trying to I've been fighting the craziness, and I chose to fight it, because I felt like people are not giving Coach Prime his due respect. I mean, it got so bad. Coach Prime is not a good coach. He doesn't know X's and O's. How do you go from coaching after your professional gold jacket, coaching all the way from Pee Wee all the way to the top FCS, and then now FBS, and then you don't know X's and O's? How does that work?
Love
I
to
feel like
know,
the
Harry.
narrative never favors Coach Prime.
I would love to know how we ended up in a society where people who never put on pads and can't catch a Nerf football feel like they're entitled to question a GOAT. I mean, Dabo Sweeney is not entitled to question Coach Prime, in my opinion. And he wouldn't, and that's the point. So if you don't have an NFL record to stand on, if you don't have a gold jacket, if you're not a GOAT, at least say that when you're going to talk sideways out of your mouth about what Coach Prime is doing, because it's just crazy. I mean, I'm thinking of a particular YouTube channel. I'm not going to say their name. That's been talking crazy about Coach Prime, and now they're doing a 360 and acting like they never said all those things that they said. And I just don't understand how we have a society that gives these people a platform and credibility to keep being wrong over and over again, talking about men who've done things that they'll never do in their life. And yet, they're getting thousands of views and making a full-time job, like Paul Feinbaum. I mean, imagine that man putting on some pads.
So I would say, just to be fair, Nerf balls are very hard to catch. Okay, so you got to. All right, so if we're gonna hang it on Nerf balls, I would just say they're not that easy to catch. Even though they're soft and cushy, they're not that easy to catch. Okay, just to back those people up just a little bit. If they
Fair enough, Harry. Fair enough.
Fair is fair. But okay, but let's talk about while you're here, while I got you, do you are you bullish on Colorado actually making the Big 12 championship?
No, definitely not. I am bullish on Colorado winning the rest of their games by a dominant margin, but I think BYU and Iowa State have too easy. I mean, Iowa State might lose to Kansas State, but that doesn't help us. They'd have to lose twice. They need to lose to Texas Tech this weekend. I don't see the Big 12, but I do see a path like Aaron Murray, the former Georgia quarterback. So no ties to Colorado, no particular Coach Prime loyalty, but he said on his show the other day that if Colorado wins out and wins by a dominant margin, how are you going to keep that ratings machine out of the playoffs?
Yeah, I think you. Yeah, I don't know that it's going to be a situation where you just crap on other teams that fought hard to get there because of ratings. I don't think that's going to happen. I know why people are saying it. I know for business reasons, because even last year, the people were just hoping that Colorado could just win 6. Because you have you had some people from I forget where it was. Was it the Sugar Bowl or somebody was in the stadium before one of those games and just hoping that Colorado can win 6 just for business reasons to give them a nice bowl. But do you find it to be fair? Like, would it be fair, all things considered? Would it be fair for Colorado to get in and leave out a team that deserves it?
I don't think we're talking about bypassing any 11-1 teams. I think we would be looking at other teams with that also had 10-2 records.
Okay.
And then if they have the same record, I think all conversations are on the table. And I think that football analysts, just like Aaron Murray, Josh Pate also said the same thing. If Colorado is winning dominantly, they'd be on a 6-game winning streak. And you look at the talent on the team, and when they're firing on all cylinders, which they haven't even done yet, but everybody who's analyzing football sees when this team is firing on all cylinders, they're going to compete with almost any team in the nation.
That's what I've been saying, and unfortunately, it may not happen. But my little, I don't know, crazy Colorado dream is to get to the playoffs. If we got to the playoff, who will we face? What big team will we face? I want to catch somebody like an Ohio State or somebody nice, because I just feel like Colorado's never going to be legit until we beat somebody legit. Just to some people, like, oh no, y'all can never do this. The same people that have been saying we couldn't get to where we at now are just like, there's no way Colorado actually beats a top 10 team. Am I thinking crazy, Love and Liberty? Am I thinking crazy that Colorado could possibly give issues to a top 10 team?
No, you're not. You're not thinking crazy. You're being optimistic, and the optimism is that they stay mentally focused, locked in. They don't take the rat poison like Nick Saban talked about, buying into their own hype to the point that it causes you to lose focus on an opponent. But if this team is locked in physically, talent wise, coaching wise, they can play with anybody. And beating that team that you're talking about is just one of those barriers that's inevitably going to fall. It's just, when is it going to happen? And it could be this year in the playoffs or a major bowl game. But I'm with you. We need to see it.
I want to see it. It may not happen this year, but hopefully we get to one. Hopefully the bowl game will give us an opportunity to do that, even if we don't get into the playoffs. But question for you: what path do you see for Colorado getting into this Big 12 championship?
Iowa State has to lose to Texas Tech this weekend. Then they need to lose another one, and Kansas State has to lose, and it would be us and BYU. So Iowa State loses twice, Kansas State loses once, and we went out and we're in, if I understand it correctly.
That's some of the path that most people are talking about. But I see no path where BYU loses twice. Like that's not with the schedule.
No, not BYU, Iowa State, but I don't think Iowa State is going to lose twice. I don't think BYU is going to lose at all.
Right.
We need Iowa State to lose twice, but I don't see that happening either.
Right. Iowa State will have to lose. Well, I don't know that they have to lose. Do they have to lose? What they
They're undefeated in conference, and we've got one loss. And if they lost one, we would have a common opponent of Kansas State, which we lost to. If they lose to Kansas State, then they'll have 2 losses, so there is no tiebreaker with Colorado.
Right. So if KSU loses, then that puts us in what, second? Are we? No, that puts us in third. If KSU
third,
loses, that puts us at third. So yeah, Iowa State has to lose twice. So like my guy Phil Surreal says, BYU can win out and CU still make it. But I don't see a scenario where Iowa State's losing 2 games. Not the way they're playing. Not to sound negative on Colorado, but the way Iowa State is playing, I don't see them losing 2 games. Not with the schedule they got left.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I don't. The schedule I see, they got left. I don't see them losing 2 games just like that. I don't see it. Is that? Are you walking in Boulder? What part of Boulder you're in there right now? You got to unmute.
Can you see the mountains behind me, or is it not focusing?
I can see the mountains, yeah, and the sky is like crazy blue.
Yeah, so I'm at 4th Street and Maxwell. If you guys want to look me up on the map, I'm at 4th Street and Maxwell right here. And I'm walking my dog. You guys see Pork Chop?
Yep, we see Pork Chop.
Yeah, so I'm picking up his business here, but I'll be back with you in a second.
All right, man. Cool. So yeah, so at the end of the day, man, look, you got a couple of things going on. You got Colorado has to win out, and then start hoping that other people lose. So that's what I'm hoping for. I'm not too bullish on Colorado making that playoffs. What I really want to happen is I want Colorado to finish strong and then win that bowl game. Because I think because I believe that Colorado winning a bowl game will be a stamp on a season that nobody thought was possible. Because at the end of the day, man, we're looking at another season coming. Hey, Love and Liberty, before I let you go, because I gotta be out of here soon. A little bit, let's tap a little bit into the future. What do you think? What happens after Shador, Travis, Shiloh? What are you guys thinking about? Or where's your train of thought on that? Because it's coming soon and we have to start thinking about it. Where's your thought on that so far?
With the way that the recruiting is looking, especially if this year keeps going well, I just think they're going to be even better next year, even without those guys. Like, those are, our biggest players to lose. But if you get Juju, I forget about the Texas quarterback. That is it Wild Dog is always talking about there's a Texas quarterback they're also recruiting. But if they plug in the right QB or
your audio is breaking up. I think you're in a bad area. So once you adjust,
I'll stop. Is that any better?
Once you adjust, okay, there you go.
Is that any better?
Yeah, okay, there you go. But now I'm hearing myself. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? Okay, so, but you see a scenario where we could be even better than, where will we be better next year? Where do you see us being better? In the trenches? Or where do you see us being better?
Yeah, in the trenches. And then you've got Colton Hood, DJ McKinney, Cam's leaving, but you got Carter Stoutmeyer. Yep. Levante Bentley's leaving. I think Nakai Hill Green is a senior, but you got leaving. Tajay McCoy. You got Keaton Wade. So we need the trenches is where they're going to get these 4 5-star recruits. I want to see Gustav come into his own. I think him and Hayden have big potential. But whoever it's going to be, we have to have a running back that is on par with the production of our receivers. We've got the receivers. We got the secondary. We've got the skill players. Cam Michael hasn't touched the field yet. He's going to be electric. We're getting those trenches guys interest in recruiting right now. So we get those actually, in the program, or you just give Sapp and Loadholt another year to coach these guys that they have up. And I just think you have another year of the coaches being together, Loadholt being here, Livingston being here, hopefully, that even losing Shador and Travis next year is going to be a dominant year. But, I live here. I could be very biased. Take my opinion with a huge grain of salt.
Well, no, because it has to be dealt with football, right? If you deal with it with football and personnel, then the bias could be, you can see through the bias. You can definitely see through the bias, because Preston Hodge is still going to be here, right? And he's playing shutdown right now. I got the 3 cornerbacks, even though 2 of them are good. I think 2 are going to be gone. On the thumbnail, I got Travis Hunter. Preston Hodge is still here. DJ McKinney. McKinney's going to be here next year too, right?
I thought McKinney was going to be here, but Hodge wasn't. So if Hodge is here, even better.
Right.
But I'm not sure.
So, So next year, you can coin next year as the running back year. Is it fair to say that next year could be the running back year, because Colorado now do not have the slinger that we have in Shador? It could be the running back year if we don't get Juju, or if Juju doesn't pan out right away. It'll be the year of the running backs. Was that fair to say?
Especially if they add Carde to the line.
You said Carde?
Yeah, Carde Smith.
The you talking about in the trenches? That's somebody who's committed, right?
He's committed to USC like Juju, but like Juju, he's been visiting CU a lot, and there's just all of these rumors and rumbling that they both could switch, but it could be a huge troll. They could be trolling us, but I don't think they are. I think they're both just really trying to figure out where the best place for their college future is. And then I defer to what Jordan Seaton said. If you a dog, why don't you want to come here and play for somebody who looks like you? But he could have said, why don't you want to come play for the GOAT? Because that's enough said. Who doesn't want to play for the GOAT?
Right. And then when the GOAT starts to win, it makes it even more sexier. So, and the GOAT is winning right now. So at the end of the day, man. Okay. So what was your prediction? I don't know if I got your prediction. Your final season prediction. What did you have CU at?
10-2.
Oh, so you were a 10-2er.
10-2er.
And you still got your path strong. You think your path is going to happen?
I'm really liking the chances right now.
Okay. I think 10-2 is possible. I feel like there's one loss in there, because one of these dying teams can, like, all of a sudden wake up. Like I said in the beginning, like OSU can find their soul. One of these teams that were preseason ranked can find their soul all of a sudden and be a problem for us. If one of these teams were to find their soul, who do you think has the potential to find their soul at the wrong time for CU?
Texas Tech.
Oh, that's them?
Texas Tech. I'm scared of Ollie Gordon with OSU, but man, they just have not been playing good. I'm scared of any team that has that serious gangbusters talent. But the more CU's defense keeps players like all the UCF guys. I mean, Kobe Hudson, the receiver, Henry, the running back, KJ Jefferson, they didn't slash us too badly like we were worried. And then we haven't been slashed too badly since that game. Handled Arizona, Fafita, and Tetaroa. So Ollie Gordon scares me less than he did. But Texas Tech, Texas is just a football state, man.
Right.
I think every program of football in Texas, from elementary school to high school to college. They compete. You know what I'm saying?
Right, right. Yeah, I don't know if I'm afraid of Texas Tech. I mean, just from I didn't watch them much this season, and I don't know if their quarterback issues are going to be an issue for them. Again, are we looking at every team playing their Super Bowl this year, or is it just do you find it to be just people are just playing their regular game and Colorado? I don't know, something's going on with my. Do you find have watching all the games that you've seen, right? Have you found every team to be playing their Super Bowl games, or it didn't really pan out that way, or is Colorado just that good?
I think it is their other teams' Super Bowls, especially in the Big 12, because when they play Colorado, they've got more eyes on them than any other game, more than likely. So if you're a Corey Kiner from Cincinnati, and a lot of people around you project you to be a future NFL running back, but you're not being mentioned with the DJ Giddens, Dante Dowdells, et cetera. When you play Colorado, you know that that's your night. And just multiply that across every single player on every team. They know that because Prime's there, more scouts are there, more people are watching. If they make a huge play, it's going to be bigger news than it is against any other team. So, yeah, I don't even think it's personal. I don't think it's because they hate Colorado. I think it's just a business decision that when we play Colorado, it's our time to shine, and every team, every football player that's competitive knows how to amp up for that type of situation.
Maybe Colorado is just that good this year because if they're playing their Super Bowl, then they didn't practice enough. Because I just I just feel like Colorado gets in the game and it just like okay, so this is how I feel, right? Like you're watching Colorado. If you're if you're in the middle of the game, like let's say it's the second quarter, if you're at the edge of your seat and you got that ball in your that knot in your heart, right? Then I feel like okay, the game is close. But for the past couple of games, while I'm commentating and trying to provide some type of analysis, we've been having other conversations. That's when you know Colorado's been dominating because it's like it hasn't been like, oh my gosh, they're doing this. Oh my gosh, it's just been like, all right, we're sitting back, relaxing, and Shador's just doing what Shador does. Is that how you guys been feeling? Like, because I've just been feeling like nobody's playing their Super Bowl unless Colorado is just that good, and we haven't played our best game yet. How do you feel about that?
Well, you took the words right out of my mouth with the last thing you said. We haven't played our best game yet, and we've still been in those positions the last few games of just relative comfort. I mean, even though the Baylor game, all the way back to the Baylor game,
Mhm.
required a quote unquote miracle, as someone said in the chat earlier, that was
Right.
a dot by Shador. That's not a miracle. He does that every time he throws the ball. LeJounte catches 9 out of 10 balls that Shador throws to him. So it's just, yeah, the clock was expiring, but if our defense played in that game the way it has the last couple of weeks, that game wouldn't have been close. You put Travis in the KSU game, which Travis pretty much took himself out. That shoulder injury was him putting the whop on somebody. He leaned into somebody and was hitting him hard, like, I'm here. And he hurt his own shoulder. Like that happens in football. You put him back in the game. How do we even lose that game? Then we're a one-loss team. Then we are firmly looking like, then Iowa State is in it by the skin of their teeth for
Right.
us not to get their spot. So this season could be going that way. Just to sum up, yes, it is a really good team. So that factors into, even if teams are trying to make it their Super Bowl and you say they're not practicing hard enough, it could just be. And I'm telling you guys, I stood next to many NFL players at Clemson for years while I was there. I lived there years after I graduated, friends with On3 reporters, Rivals.com reporters. We used to go out and drink with the second and third stringers who didn't get to play that much. They give us the gossip on the team. But when I stand next to Shador, Shiloh, Travis, Anquin Barnes, Quincy Wiggins, I'm telling you, these guys are in better shape Coach Mo has these dudes in better shape than any other teams they're playing. Their conditioning is second to none.
Mm.
Their big guys are lean. They don't have like the super ginormous big dudes. They've got like lean, muscular, tall. I'm telling you, these dudes wear the teams that they play down. That's why the Nebraska game, the second half went different. People can say Nebraska was conservative trying to run out the clock. Matt Rule wanted to beat Dion by as much as possible.
That's true.
But yeah,
'Cause he
I'll
does.
wrap it up and just say they are good, Harry. They're athletic, they're big. And the only time that they play below their potential is that young hot shot mindset of we're so good, we got nothing to worry about. That's their only weakness. If they overcome that, which the coaches are working on, they're going to compete with anybody.
That's what I believe. Let's bring Tim Smith onto the show. Tim Smith, how you doing today, brother? Welcome to the show. I appreciate you.
Yo, what up, Harry? What's up,
Yeah,
Love and Liberty?
yeah, love.
What's up,
I'm
Tim?
chopping it up with Love and Liberty, waiting for y'all to come on. But yeah. So Tim, Colorado has a couple of paths. Um, I have. Are you on any other like in any other rooms and seeing what the temperature is like, Tim?
No, I'm not in any other rooms, man.
Oh, okay. So,
When you're not on, mostly I'm on politics, but
oh, okay. So
that's about it.
you're dealing with Trump and Harris. I've been shielded from that this time around, and I feel better. I feel so good. I feel like I can breathe because politics makes you hate, and I don't want to hate anybody. You know what I'm saying? Even though they may have a difference of opinion, I don't want to hate nobody. So I haven't been watching CNN or anybody like that. I've been watching clips, but I feel lighter. I feel like I can say hi to my neighbor, even if they're flying. Because where I live in a Trump state, a Trump city. So I see Trump flags on bikes. I see Trump flags. The Trump trucks are everywhere. But I don't look at those people and be like, "Oh, I hate you." I just feel like that's who they prefer.
Oh
So
yeah, I mean, it doesn't wear me down. I just like the conversation more than anything. The difference of opinions, finding common ground.
yeah,
Uh, can you find any good in that individual? Because regardless of what president is in office, they can't they can't do any and everything for each individual walking this earth. That's just not going to happen.
no, that's just how it goes. And
But that's
some
how people think.
right, right. So I think some people take it too personal, make it too personal, and I don't like when politics. That's why I got my other channel, which I'm going to be having some lives on, and Love and Liberty. You're one guy that don't mind speaking your mind. So hopefully, when I can get you to come over there on that other channel, the Billionaires Mindset, to chop it up with me, because at the end of the day, man, I feel like my goal is to be able to provide a safe place for people to have ideas about things that matters to them without being, what I'm saying, without cussing, without, just at each other's throat. I feel like it makes for a better society, because when you can share ideas, there's a lot of things that people say that, you know, if they have a different ideas, if you didn't know that they were thinking that way, you probably would never hear it. So anyway, but Tim, tell me how Colorado wins gets to the Big 12 for you.
Um, Continue to play Colorado football. Number one, uh, no one gets selfish at the end of the road. Everybody's stay locked in. Um, but as far as them getting to that Big 12 championship here in Arlington, which I'm hoping that they can do because I got money set aside, I will buy tickets for that, and I will be in attendance if they make it.
It's,
Uh,
it's it's in Texas. The game is played in Texas.
yeah, it's at Jerry World at AT&T Stadium.
Okay.
But the way that they get to the Big 12 is we're gonna need some help from other Big 12 teams.
Right.
Number one, right now BYU and Iowa State, they control their own destiny. So, with that being said, we need help from whoever's playing BYU these last couple of games of the season. We're rooting for them,
Right.
opposing team that's facing BYU. We're we need K State to lose one game, right? So
Hmm.
whoever's facing them, we're rooting for them. Iowa State, we need them to lose.
Twice at least.
Well, twice at least. But if K State loses to a team, then that'll give them two losses. We run the table, and um, Iowa State loses to Kansas State, which will give them one loss. But we need BYU to lose two games. Then that will put us in the Big 12 championship facing Iowa State.
But the most likely path, I like we talked about, me and Love and Liberty talked about it earlier. The most likely path is BYU not losing. It's not losing two games. That's not going to happen. We're leaning mostly on Iowa State and K State. That's where we see it so far.
Right. I agree with that analogy.
Yeah, because I don't see that happening. Um, Love and Liberty does what does Colorado just going 8-4, 9-3, or 10-2 mean? Like what does that mean from the standpoint of Boulder and college football as a whole? Like to you?
Man, it's bigger than football. It's history to have a Hall of Fame coach change the status quo from what he did with the recruiting portal and how everybody ridiculed him for that, even though he said the portal is going to be an on-ramp for us. We're going to be heavy in the first few years,
Yep.
but then we're going to build up our high school recruiting. But the media didn't want to hear the details. They just want to run with the narrative of Louis luggage, emptying out a locker room, all of this. And so the historical, the improvement is indisputable. It's numbers. Like you can't argue with the numbers that he's improved the program. We can start comparing him to other coaches and the amount of time they've been at other programs. But if you do that, you've got to look at what they inherited, because he inherited a team losing by an average of 29 points.
Yep. Per
So
game.
to be talking about this team the way we are halfway through, and he's been here less than 2 years because he got here in December last year,
Right.
or the year before.
Right.
Um, So didn't even have a full off season to recruit his first year. We're less than 2 years in. We're talking about serious analysts. Again, I won't put myself in it. I'll say Aaron Murray played championship football for Georgia, and he's saying Colorado, he's not just saying they're a playoff team. He's saying, I think they could compete with anyone, and he has no bias. I live here. I'm very biased. I'm a lifelong Coach Prime fan, so I'm biased in that way. But I have been an athlete my whole life. I've been into fitness. I've been around top tier NFL talent, stood next to them, which is only to say I can look at the size of an athlete, their muscularity, their fitness, and compare them to the guys at Clemson when Clemson finally was able to beat Alabama after
Right.
years of middling in the ACC. The change that Dabo made was with the athletes in the trenches. So what do these records mean for Boulder? They mean that we will give Coach Prime the keys to the city. He can write his own contract. He can write a contract with his lady, Miss Constance Schwartz Marini. They can set it on Rick George's desk, and Rick's gonna sign it. So if Prime wants to stay here, which I'm trying to show you guys on my channel and here, wherever, the city, because why? I don't see why Prime is going to want to leave this. He's got his place in Texas. He loves that, but that's like a 30-minute PJ flight from here. You should
Hmm.
see his place in Longmont. It's a palace. He will get the keys of the city if he wants to stay here. He will change college football the longer he stays in it. And so what these records mean? The beginning of a dynasty, if that's what Coach Prime chooses, in my opinion.
And Tim, is that how you feel too? Is this a dynasty? And why are we still having this conversation about Coach Prime leaving, Tim?
Um, it number one, it just give people and content creators something to talk about, because at this point, that's all they do have left to talk about. They can't talk about him. He's not winning, so That's all they have to run with right now. Create these different narratives, but I feel like Rick George, the AD, has finally made the right choice after the last couple of head coaches that he brought in to Colorado. And Coach Prime he can recruit. I feel like he has the right people in place to give kids that really have a desire to go to the NFL a blueprint of what it takes, not only what it takes, what it looks like. Uh, so pretty much like you get an audition. So some of them, like Love and Liberty, was talking about some of the guys from Clemson, some of the guys from LSU, Alabama, some of these bigger schools that have been dominating for years. He's gonna get his hands on some of them. It's coming, and it's the same thing that uh, Oregon head coach did as well, taking some of those recruits. And my God, man, if he gets his hands on some of the recruits, and we're seeing glimpses of it now, with some of the 4 and 5 stars that are flipping and coming to Colorado, man, if he could continue this train, he doesn't necessarily, in my opinion, this is my personal opinion, he doesn't have to win a national championship right now or within the first 5 years. But long as he's taking them to bowl games and bowl appearances, man, he's gonna get who he wants uh at any given time, and he's gonna keep CU relevant for a long time.
So, hey guys, on the screen you will see Love and Liberty's channel. That's the logo. And so, if you go to YouTube, you will see Love and Liberty. Please subscribe and help my brother out. He's been supporting CLP Sports Club, so I like to support channels that support me, guys. Even if they don't support me, I still support them. That's just who I am. He's at 1.85K subs. Hey, Love and Liberty, are you monetized yet?
Yes, sir.
Okay, congratulations. He is monetized. So yeah, so guys, watch his videos. He does a lot of great work out there. I just wanted to, make sure I support him because he supports. Now, let me ask you all a question. I'll go to you first, Tim. What does the conversation looks like preseason 2025? Because Tim, you've been around here, you've been on the panel, Love and Liberty, you too, and you guys know how gruesome it is preseason. Because when we're 1-8, when we're 4-8, the conversation is different. So what does the conversation look like when we start doing preseason talk in 2025? Are we just going to be having football talk, or is it going to be getting nasty again?
I think that it's gonna be football talk. It's gonna be nasty talk too. I mean, that just come with it.
Okay.
That comes with Coach Prime and being at CU and
Your audio went, Tim.
okay, can you hear me?
Oh, yeah, there it goes. You good.
I said the nastiness is gonna come, but um, I like to look at what are the pieces that Prime brings in
Mm-hmm.
uh, over the off season. We already know what we have as far as depth,
Mm-hmm.
and we're getting glimpses of them showcasing their talent. So with them going to a bowl game this season, that's going to make a lot of players from other teams want to jump on board. So that's it. I think, in my opinion, and with bringing in a Juju Lewis, I heard some information today about Juju Lewis has been with Cordell Stewart, which is the quarterback from CU,
Yeah.
uh, for since he was a little kid. So with that in mind, that just further lets me know, okay, CU is going to get Juju Lewis. It's just a matter of how they're going to announce it, like they did Jordan Seaton, like they did Travis Hunter. So him coming, man, do you know the type of receivers that's going to want to come and play for them? That this team is going to be electric. I think they can possibly be better in 2025 than they are in 2024. But that's just my personal opinion.
Y'all keep saying that, and I don't want to be the only guy on this channel and lose more members. But I'm a little skeptical. I don't know why I am, but I think it's football reasons, right? I think it's football reasons that I'm skeptical because I'm such a Shador fan. I believe in Shador so much. I feel like he's such a great quarterback. And it's going to be hard to find his heir apparent. I don't know if it's going to be Juju, and is he going to be a Dylan Raiola out the gate? We don't know that, right? Because college can make young boys, scared a little bit, can take your confidence. Not everybody comes to college and translate right away. I think, as a CU content creator, that's where my hesitance is, that this team, I feel like, because the reason why Colorado is good, the number one reason why Colorado is good is because of Shador. I don't know any other reason. Without Shador, nobody gets the ball to Travis Hunter, and nobody gets it to Jimmy Horn and these other guys. Without him, I feel like the path is going to be a little bit more darker than we're trying to make it feel and seem. But Love and Liberty, I want your thoughts on that. But I want you to also tell me what the conversation is going to be like after that, next year.
Okay, so let's start with the conversation next year because, on one hand, I don't know what there is going to be left to talk crazy about with Coach Prime. I mean, you can't say daddy ball anymore next year.
Right.
You can't say that he's following his players to the NFL if he stays next year. You can't say he's a failure. So I hope that it has to be football talk by process of elimination, but then we get into the recruits that could potentially flood behind a player like Juju. And then I see, oh, this is what the gossip will be about. It's going to be about Coach Prime being a thief. It's going to be about how he's stealing, Juju and Carde Smith and flipping all these commitments. But that's a weak argument, that's not going to hold much water. So I think that's going to be next year. And then you're right, because even if Juju comes in, the college game is so much faster than the high school game. It's kind of really hit and miss whether these even 5-star quarterbacks can come in and hit the ground running. So whether they're better next year depends completely on the quarterback, exactly as you said. But if it is somebody like Juju who has the marketability, and it's not because of anything other than the stats he's put and the film tape that he's put down, just like Shador, they've got marketability because they have so many highlights. And that's what will make elite wide receivers like LeJontay come to a place where they're not going to be the number one guy anymore because they know the quarterback is going to get them the ball properly. So as the quarterback goes, CU goes. So when I think that they're going to be better next year than this year, there's a huge asterisk beside it that says, you're right, Harry B. That relies, they can make schemes for Juju to make the game easier for him. And if we have a good running game, it's all on the table. And I think Juju can do it, but you're right that it relies on him, and it relies on us replacing Shador with someone. If Shador is a 9 out of 10, we got to have a 7. We got to have a 7.5. And if Juju's a 7, 7.5 in his freshman year, he can become a 9 or a 10 by his senior year. But you're right, that's what we got to have.
So yeah,
Hey,
okay.
go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead. Add your thought.
No, okay. We talk about on this show if Shador just have time to throw, right? This year is being displayed, and is really being displayed now going to the back end of the season, where last game he only had one sack, and that was pretty much on him. So Coach Prime making it to a bowl game, you seeing these 4 stars, O linemen and D linemen wanting to come and commit to Colorado. Just imagine what he's going to get out of that portal of guys that already been playing. He's going to get some big dudes. Now, Juju Lewis, he can thread the needle, Doc. Like, to me, he's a better quarterback than Dylan Raiola
Okay.
as far as accuracy. He's like a Shador, in my opinion, because I watched the kid highlights, and at Georgia in Georgia, I think he's playing, or is he playing in California? No, in California, if I'm not mistaken. But if you look at some of his highlights, man, I mean, he can put the ball exactly where it need to be played. 6 or 7A football. But if you playing 7A, man, that's like playing junior college, bro.
Mm. So, all right. So let's end with this. Let me ask y'all this question. As far as the question just skipped my mind, but if we're looking at next year, Coach Prime is going to bring in some guys. Let's end with where this is. I'll tell you where I think how I think it can happen for Colorado, and then you guys can tell me where y'all think it can how your thing is going to happen for Colorado. This is how it happens. Because we've been talking about serviceable quarterbacks, right? We talking about serviceable players, certain players that can be serviceable. If Colorado get their O-line to be elite, let's say Ohio State, Bama, Georgia type O-line, then we don't need Juju to be superstar. We just need Juju to be able to be serviceable. So if we see a strong move on that O-line, because we are losing some guys on the offensive line, if we see a big story on the offensive line and that defensive line, then that would be the path where I think this team could be just as good. But I don't know if better. I don't know if I don't see a scenario where it's better. But I think with an O-line, it could be just as good and possibly better. That's my scenario. It has to come from the trenches. I don't see any other way because the quarterback is what's really got us where we are. But now, if we do it the other way around, it comes from the offensive line and the defensive line giving us the ball back. But if that offensive line can give a decent quarterback time to throw, or even for us to make plays, open up holes for us to run in, then I think Colorado is going to be one of the best teams in the Big 12. And I'll start with you, Love and Liberty. Your thoughts on that, and this will be your final thoughts.
Okay, let me run, not get hit by this delivery truck right here.
Yes, sir. Don't want to see that
right.
online, please.
All right. Yeah, so
how do you see it happening? What is your path to Colorado being either just as good or better?
I think you hit the nail on the head, and everybody knows that it's the trenches. And I think Tim hit the nail on the head when he said the way that this season goes also influences the transfer portal as much as recruiting. And I think that the coaching of Lode Holt, the coaching of Sapp, the coaching of Livingston, these are all their first years with the team. So some of my improvement next year is attributed to Lode Holt, Livingston, my mind just blanked on the other, and Sapp, all having their influence for 2 years into the program. Mix that with the high quality recruits that they're already getting and going to get from the trans portal. If we do well in a bowl game this season or we make the playoffs, I think the trenches are going to look like Alabama, Oregon, Georgia next year, except for I still believe that Coach Mo is the best conditioner in college football. So if you give the Alabama O-line or the Oregon O-line to Coach Mo and Warren Sapp and Phil Lodeholt, that's where I think that they're going to be better. I'm banking on that. That's what I'm banking on. I'm banking on it only in the sense of optimism. In Boulder, I like to say we're adults here. We know where we were at in 2022, and we're over the moon with how it is. So it can only get better for us that live here. And all of this will be bonus. So if Juju comes in and he's serviceable with those trenches, they could still be better because you got Cam Michael coming on the field. You got Isaiah Harge. You got Brandon Hood. All these explosive players we haven't really seen yet. Micah Welch will be in his second year of bodybuilding under Coach Mo. And we've seen him as a true freshman. Draylon is a true freshman. So we know we've got these weapons. We could talk about the defense. We know what those weapons are as well. But if we have elite trenches and an elite quarterback, now if Juju comes in and he surprises people, they're dominating. If he comes in and they scheme well for him and he has a a shaky freshman year, but he has those trenches on both sides of the ball.
Yeah.
They can still win. They can still be playoff contenders next year. So that's where I'm at. And those are my thoughts on it.
All right, Tim, your turn, brother. Bring it home
Love,
for us.
Love and Liberty. He pretty much took the words right out of my mouth.
So all three of us are thinking the same thing there, basically.
Yeah,
Your audio went, Tim.
Can you hear me?
Okay. Start over. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, he keyed in on something that's very major to me, and he talked about Coach Livingston and Sapp. That they're going to have the opportunity now to not only inherit the players,
Mm-hmm.
they're going to get a chance to look at film on these players and decide if they are able to play in CU's defense.
Mm-hmm.
And with that being said, now they see technique. They can enhance their technique, and I feel like, this is my personal opinion, they're going to look for guys, especially out of the portal, that's ready to go to the NFL, and
Mm-hmm.
remind them, hey, I can show you how to get there
Right.
by on all levels. So great show. Sorry I came in so late.
No, it's
You
all
and Love
good.
and Liberty been killing it. But yeah, man, that's why I stand on it
And,
prematurely.
but yeah, I mean, I think that's where I stand on it too. I think the coaches are going to be instrumental in recruiting because they are one of the best They are some of the best recruiters. Now, if we go 10-2, if let's just say out of somewhere we dominate in a bowl game, can you imagine seeing Lodehold or Coach Sapp, and even Livingston, right? Because Livingston's an NFL guy, right? And then there's one little caveat where it looks like we're looking at 8 players in the NFL Combine. 8 players. Like, I don't know. You don't even have to say anything. You literally just point to the TV and say, watch your TV during the draft season and say, I can get you there. And I think it's a wrap. I don't know that you have to say much after that, even though obviously recruiting takes a lot more than that. But think about Rispers, think about the end of the season and everything that's going on, and then go get those hogs. We get those hogs, and Colorado football is building a legacy. It should be exciting. I'm gonna hold a little bit of skepticism just to my heart a little bit, because I know that it's not just us, because OSU is gonna go try to figure out what's happening in the offseason. Utah is gonna try to figure out what happened in the offseason. These bigger teams are gonna figure out what happened. And next year when we come back, everybody's gonna look different because we all gonna ante up. But I think if Colorado can secure some trenches, guys, then we will be right where we need to be. But I want to say thank you guys for hanging out with me today. Thank you for contributing to the show. Love and Liberty. Hopefully your channel grows and grows a little higher. Tim Smith, I always appreciate you being on the panel, and I'll see you guys on the next show. I think we're doing a Friday show, and I may be on for Saturday just because we need a roof for somebody. All right, so we need a roof for either. I think Iowa State is playing on Saturday. We might root for them. I think it's 3:30 time. So I might come on here. I don't know how my schedule is going to go, but we'll figure it out. All right, guys. So thank you for hanging out with me. I appreciate you. Hey, have a great time over there in Boulder. Dallas is in the building. Dallas, have a good time in Dallas, Tim. And I'll see y'all guys. I'll see you guys on Friday.
All right, man. Y'all have a good one. I'm going to go subscribe to Love and Liberty.
For sure, man. Thank you for doing that, Tim.
Yes.
All right, guys. Take care, man. Have a good day.
Right on. Take care, guys.
All right. Peace out, guys. Thank you, Smiley. I appreciate that. Thank you, everybody that's in the chat. Thank you for joining the show. I appreciate everyone. Stevie Davy, Surfer Boy 3000, Low Bucket, Fennis, Fennis, Dembo. I appreciate you hanging with us. Thank you, everybody, for being in chat. I thank you so much. I appreciate y'all. I'll see y'all on Friday's show. And if I just want to just hop on here and just talk to y'all, I just come on here. You know how I do. If my schedule permits, I'm coming on here again. You never know. Take care, guys.